Do you think you're smarter than a plant? You might be saying, of course, plants aren't intelligent. They don't know how to do taxes. And to that I would say, I also don't know how to do taxes, and I'm at least 37% sure that the government considers me an intelligent species. So, if we're not using taxes, how do we define intelligence? One definition used is that intelligence is a universal biological phenomenon promoting individual fitness and is required for effective organism-environment interactions. You might be like, what does that mean? That's a lot of science words. So basically what it means is, can you figure out what is going on around you, and can you adapt and try your best to survive in this environment? If the answer to that question is yes, congratulations, you're technically intelligent, you've achieved the bare minimum, gold star, you're alive. We can clearly see plants do this. If you've ever sat a house plant next to a window for too long, you've probably noticed its phototropism, also known as heliotropism, meaning the plant's ability to sense the sun and lean towards it. Some plants, such as the Lavaterra, can plan in advance where to turn its leaves to face the sun. During the night, the plants turn to the direction of the sunrise in preparation for the sun appearing, so as to maximize the amount of light that they get throughout the day. Additionally, when kept in a lab in total darkness, the Lavaterra will still accurately predict the direction of the sunrise, only starting to get sloppy after about 3 or 4 days of darkness. That's better than me during finals week. Come on. One of the most important things that a plant can do in its life is balance between its source and its sink. Sources are where the plant gets its food from. These are the leaves and it's the roots. It's where the nutrients are gathered and made into food. The sink are things like flowers, storage for these nutrients, places that don't quite serve as much purpose but are still necessary for the plant. Think of it as the difference between eating, which is what you need to survive, and your muscles and fat, which is what you need to stand up straight and to store all of those nutrients for when you are not actively eating. During the day, the plant needs to put aside a certain number of sugars to allow it to maintain the processes of the sources and sink throughout the night. Arabidopsis plants have been shown to tune their sugar utilization and starch storage release based on the amount that they expect to need over the night. When the amount of light is changed artificially, it's shown that they learn how to adapt and save different amounts of sugars, repeating this amount if the experiment is repeated again. This shows that the plants can seemingly learn from the past and use it for future knowledge, learning how much sugar they need over that night, what to do if nights go longer or days last longer. Plants can also communicate. Goldenrods, for example, produce a lot of chemicals that help ward off bugs when they start to be attacked. Chemicals go through the air and send warning signals to the other goldenrods in the area. This helps those goldenrods plan in advance so that they can start preparing their defense mechanisms before the bugs even arrive. Goldenrods aren't the only plant that do this. Trees have something that has been lovingly named the Wood Wide Web. This is where forests are interconnected by fungi, which help the trees to send messages throughout their systems and can send nutrients and toxins if they're feeling petty. I have access to the internet, and I can't even remember to respond to all my texts. That one's fair. One major problem that people tend to have with plant intelligence is that they don't have brains like people do. The same goes for most of my coworkers. Darwin commented on plants seeming intelligent, saying, "The tip of the root, having the power of redirecting movements of the adjoining paths, acts like the brain of one of the lower animals, receiving the impressions of the senses of organs and directing the several movements." So, are plants intelligent? Well, the science community is still split. with much debate over how the definition of intelligence can be applied, and there's doubtless many more studies to be done. In any case, it does open up the door for scientists to learn even more about the world, and I hope it opens up your mind to a little bit more curiosity about the nature around us. This plant that I'm going to try my best to pronounce, Arabidosota. Nope. Arabidopsis? Arabidopsis plants. Arabidos, Arabidop, Arabido, Arabidopsis plant.